Hey fellow historians, this is the Shady Historian. As Shady Historian, we focus on queer, people of color history. If this is content that you would be interested in, please like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave comments below. I'm a full-blown attention whore, so I actually really do look forward to the commentary. Today's episode will focus on the Harlem Renaissance, on the tension between the African American church and the queer African American community in Harlem. Outside Greenwich Village, Harlem was the second biggest enclave of the queer community in New York City. Harlem attracted both white and black queers. White queers who would go to Harlem felt that it was a social and racial escape from much more segregated parts of the city. Some wanted to live that BBC fantasy, and by BBC, I don't mean British Broadcasting Corporation. Amongst the black community in Harlem, there was a large degree of tolerance as it came to gay people. There were drag kings and drag queens who appeared openly in the streets. African Americans knew of the queer African Americans within their community. There were queer clubs in West Harlem between 130th Street and 138th Street. Speakeasies and rent parties were popular places for black queers to socialize within in Harlem without the sense of fear. Some rent parties had viewing rooms where they would actually see queer people having sex. And actually, some people would actually come in and pay for queer people to have sex right in front of them. The first OnlyFans page. Now, not all of Harlem was as open to this freedom of sexual expression. They saw jazz and crime and queerness as all the same plagues within society and a danger to the new Negro identity itself. Harlem preachers such as Adam Clay and Powell Sir would preach weekly sermons against homosexuals. Weekly. Like, every week, folks. Some African American pastors and members of the community called on the mostly white police force during this time to break up black queer establishments. African American papers such as the Amsterdam News would sometimes actually out these queer people in publications. They would literally print this shit. Crazy. Even prominent closeted African Americans such as Augustine Gainesville Dill, a protege of W.E.B. Du Bois, was arrested for engaging in homosexual activities or trying to engage in homosexual activity in public restrooms. I'm not sure what kind of activities he was engaging because there's so many different options, but he was arrested. Like, damn! Queer folks who were still privileged still congregated in private homes and safe tenement buildings. But the atmosphere outside was greatly different as time went on because it was no longer thought of as safe or as socially acceptable as it once was. Today, I still think that we still have this conflict as it relates to identity politics and representation, right? What do we imagine black people to be? This perfect image, right? You had to be cis, you had to be straight, you had to be, let's face it, male. These are the only black lives that we actually oftentimes subconsciously think of as actually marrying. Even if you don't fall within those categories, that's the image that we present out. And historically speaking, we present that image out because we're trying to be normalized in a system in which we're dehumanized all the time. We're trying to match up to this perfect image that white people might embrace because once we match up with that perfect image, they might actually like us. But guess what? I'm a historian. I trained in this. The shit never happens. It never ever fucking happens. The main thing that you have to do and focus on is really, as a community, we have to love each other because that's the main thing. That's the main focus. That's all that matters. I don't know what else to do. Subscribe. Bye.